Hello, Foundlings, and welcome back to another episode of A Tale of Remembrance. I am Quentin, your GM and host for this campaign, and I am joined with my only but lovely player.
Hi, I'm Emily, and today I'm playing Aurora, an elf lady who has forgotten many things, but she's accompanied by her wolf and currently riding in a carriage.
When last we left off, you were returning from a dinner party with a new unlikely ally in a man named Draken. But the most recent thing you have done is you have pulled out a seed from this bag, which you have mysteriously found in possession of, with the last thought being, I need to talk to you. If you can for me, please roll a use magic device check.
16.
As you are focusing your intention on this small seed you have currently resting in the palm of your hand, you see as some purple aura begins to surround the seed, but it seems almost unable to imbue the object with any intention or power.
She sighs and puts the seed back in the bag.
And with that, unless you attempt anything else, it is just you and your wolf in the carriage for the rest of the ride home as you feel yourself going up a gradual incline of sorts and then making a series of curves until eventually the carriage does stop. The door opening, you see the same gentleman before you as you recognize him to be the coachman who has been driving you, and he opens the door and allows you to exit, gesturing for you to do so.
She'll step down from the carriage, mildly frustrated with the situation of not being able to use the item she was given to reach out to this person. She'll get out and look around her, see where she is.
You recognize that you have been dropped off at the same location you were picked up at. You are once again standing outside the Broken Wagon Inn.
She'll brush past him and go inside, going upstairs and not really talking to anybody.
As you are storming your way through the main body of the tavern, roll a perception check to see if you overhear something.
25.
Though preoccupied and filled with a large host of emotions, you can very clearly overhear heated discourse. It seems to be between Sir Prescott and Harrison, as they are still here, even this late into the evening, sitting at the exact table that you recall having left them at.
Do I hear anything in particular that stands out to me? Or is it just more of like their conversation?
You can tell that they're having a heated debate. You haven't really been here long enough to have too much context. It would appear as if they're yelling about maps or some area. No, I'm told you, we've already been there. It won't do anything useful. Yes, but I haven't personally checked there. I may know where she's hiding better than anyone else, or maybe if she's been taken somewhere, perhaps we overlooked some small minor detail. They could be hiding her for ransom.
As she overhears this part, she's, again, just still annoyed, goes upstairs, storms up the stairs, and just doesn't care.
You pause but for a brief moment at the base of the stairs, overhearing this conversation, but the topic seems to irritate you even further, especially considering the frequency of its mention, especially this night. Agitated, you storm up the stairs and slam the door behind you, and you collapse in the chair right before the fireplace in an exasperated sigh.
Wolf. Did we do the right thing? Yes, that's what I thought. The silence tells me no. I shouldn't have gotten involved with him. I'm just frustrated. I think I'm going to bed. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted.
You see as the wolf just curls up at your feet in front of the fire and seems to relax.
She sits there for a moment before getting up from the chair and moving over to the actual bed, this time putting herself there and being aware that she has laid down in the bed on her own. And then she sort of thinks to herself, how useful are these seeds if I can't even use them? I'll look into it more in the morning. Perhaps I'm just overtired. And she'll go to sleep, as well as place the bag of seeds on the nightstand nearby, along with the room key.
And with that, you lay yourself down for the evening and are whisked into slumber. And once again, you find yourself in a dream. Initially, all is black. Darkness surrounds you, but then coming into focus, there's a small object, and you can clearly tell that it is a little seed. From it, you see a purple aura begin to emanate as The exterior seems to crack and fragment, and from it springs up a little green stem. Roots begin to protrude, and the stem grows tall, and you see pops out and blooms a white lily. From the center of it, however, you can see emanating from the very core as the purple aura seems to almost penetrate the pigment, and eventually the white lily turns purple. This vision is filled in more in depth, and you can hear the sounds of chirping birds and rushing water, and you see this little flower in a field of grass. And you feel the ability to almost move and take in your surroundings. As you pan from side to side, you see that you are once again in that same maze-like garden as you were before. The one with all of the various bushes and flowers and the long winding pathway which took you to the gazebo.
She begins walking through the grass again along the path, quickly and with intention of reaching the gazebo. She does go up to it quickly, very determined, as well as frustrated, tired, and ready to talk.
Rushing your way through the garden this time, navigating the path, you find yourself with your quickened pace quickly approaching on the gazebo that it lays before you. Entering in, you see sits the same slender woman in a long black flowing dress on a chair at fixture as there's furniture here, and she seems to almost be expecting you. Welcome, Aurora. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure why. I'm just frustrated by the situation. She goes over and sits down immediately, somewhat rushing off more of caution she had before.
And you see she waves her hand, and before you, on the table, in front of the chair which you were sat on, there manifests a porcelain cup filled with tea.
She picks it up and begins drinking it, sitting in silence for a while, just taking in the aroma as she sips the tea until she places the cup back down, and then begins venting, mostly about the whole situation, being frustrated dealing with Draken and his personality, and her thinking just out loud, how could I have possibly ever known such a terrible person? I'm sorry, I don't mean to vent. I'm just very frustrated. And being in that place, there is nowhere safe to be, especially with ears that seem to be everywhere.
It's important, at times like these, to collect yourself. I'm glad you've been able to thus far contain your emotions. Be careful to embrace them too far, though they can be a very powerful asset.
You're right. I thought about killing him very many times, but I resisted the urge. Very irksome person he is. Again, she picks back up the tea and drinks a little bit more and places it back down before speaking again. I will say, it's very frustrating to not have anything at all where I am. I don't like having to make deals with people in order to get by.
Oh, sweet child, you have more than you know. All you need do is embrace your nature, wise though you are to manage your emotions, for there is a time and season for all things. Take a flower, for example. If tended to properly, it will bloom into something radiant, but it starts as small as a seed, having nothing to its name. But, lying dormant within it, is such immeasurable power. All you need do is tap into your inner strength, and I think you'll find you are well equipped for any task that lies before you.
I don't know what that means. I'm not going to lie and say that I do. That would be pure folly.
Certainly you have noticed that you have extraordinary abilities, well beyond that of a regular person. How you can command the will and bend people before yours.
That sounds good and all, but I don't completely understand how.
All you need do is pull out that which lies deep within you. Use a commanding presence, and in doing so, you will be surprised by what will obey. Also, you say you have nothing, and yet you have your dear companion. And she gestures, and It looks as if the wolf approaches and she begins to pet it. Aurora, one must examine what they want before they know what they need to accomplish it. I highly doubt you need the assistance of anyone. You must just ask yourself, what is it that you desire?
She sits there in silence, growing more frustrated by this persistent question. What does she want? The obvious answer has always been to find herself and those missing memories. But the desire for power is growing. Very well. I'll try again.
Very well. I mean, that was a very clear question, and I feel like you're avoiding an answer. All you're doing is reaching. But I feel like you need to establish what are you reaching for. Only then, with proper motivation, can you achieve that which you wish. So answer me, Aurora. What is it that you're after?
It feels like I'm talking with Draken again. What I want. I want power. I'm so tired of being pushed around and put into positions where I feel helpless. I don't want to feel that way. And sure, having memories would be ideal. But if I have to work with individuals like Draken, I'm not sure it would be worth it.
If it is power that you seek, understand that you may already have it.
What do you mean?
As I mentioned, you must dig deep within, but maybe not only within yourself. You'll be surprised what can come when you really get to the core of a person.
Are you saying get to the core of Draken? Or are you saying I should pull out his heart? I rather like that idea.
Very close. These materialistic things are only fleeting. Even a flower will wilt and fade away. But there is something with such longevity that resides in each one of us, which contains such immense power. When you tap into such a reserve, you'll be surprised of what you will accomplish.
Again, she looks questioningly, not completely understanding what she's referring to. All right, whatever you say. Well, it was nice talking with you. This has been mildly beneficial.
Take time. Ponder my answers, though you may not have come here with a clear goal in mind. I would advise you to use the time we spend wisely. For whenever we have an interaction as such, I will always attempt to be as helpful as possible. You're not the only one with goals.
Oh, and what exactly are your goals? I still do not know who you are, and we've met twice now. My friend.
Precisely. You know who I am. I am but a friend. Your goals are my goals. And with that, it seems as if the scenery begins to fade. All senses seem to dull. The warmth of the cup seems to get colder, the chirping of the birds quieter, and slowly too your vision fades until you are once again left in darkness. Until it seems as if a light seems to break through the darkness, and you hear the birds once more, though they're slightly different, and it doesn't seem as if you're in a garden, but rather you're being awoken by birds chirping at your windowsill as you awaken in the Broken Wagon Inn.
Do I feel rested?
You feel very well rested, but mentally you still feel perplexed.
She sits up from the bed, leans over towards the wolf, pats him on the head.
It seems like it's relatively early morning, but the chittering of birds has awoken you as well, as it seems like the curtain on your window was not properly closed, and light seems to be streaming through.
She walks over to the window after petting the wolf and closes the curtain. It's too bright out.
Roll a perception check.
Sure. 26.
As you get up from your slumber, you notice that on the nightstand where you set the bag of seeds, now there seems to be sprouting out of the bag a flower. The same lily that you had in your dreams, in fact. You see that the pigment of this lily is a stained purple.
She'll remove the flower from the bag.
Pulling the flower out of the bag, you can see that it is attached to one singular seed, which it seems to have sprouted out of.
All right, seems that it is related to nighttime sleep and magic. So I can use it, just the wrong time. She'll look around the room and see if there's a pot or anything.
You can see that it appears the birds outside, which are chittering, are standing on somewhat of a windowsill planter box, but it doesn't seem to have anything currently in it.
Oh, great. Okay. No dirt or anything?
No.
Oh, okay. So then in that case, she would open up the window and take out some of the clay that she got while digging in the river and actually put it in the box and then plant the seed in it. All right, then. Hopefully you can survive out here. And then she'll close the window. And like I said earlier, she would also close the curtain and then would walk away and grab the bag of seeds.
Grabbing all of your small list of belongings, you begin to head out, but you notice as you approach the door, there seems to be something on the floor.
I look at it.
Examining closer, you notice that there seems to be a sealed envelope on the floor.
She'll pick it up and open it and read.
Grabbing it, you raise it, and you see an unfamiliar seal. Breaking it, you open it up, and it appears as if it was from Sir Prescott, and therefore you can assume that this was Prescott's seal. In it, it says, "Dear Aurora, I didn't seem to notice you coming last night, but, daring not to disturb your slumber, I leave to you this letter. I know not exactly what your intentions are, but me and Harrison have decided to head out into the morning. Though as to where we are not quite sure. We will be meeting at the Broken Wagon Inn early this morning. If you wish to catch us and depart with us, you're more than welcome to. If you have any more information on a good place to search, as you mentioned your wolf companion would be of assistance, please do let us know. Yours truly, Sir Travis Prescott Williams."
Aurora, after reading the note, puts it down. So they're going to be going off without any idea of where to look. What a waste of time. Maybe I'll give them some information, and she'll begin going downstairs.
So you take your very small personal belongings with you. You're clothed in... Actually, what are you wearing? Would you be wearing the dress that Draken gave you?
Oh, you're right. She didn't change out of that. I don't think she's even thinking about it.
So you would be going downstairs in the dress that Draken gave you with your sack of clay and bag of seeds accompanied by your wolf. You begin descending the stairs into the main body of the Broken Wagon Inn, and you come upon a scene of Sir Prescott and Harrison sitting at the bar, just having a cordial conversation with Matthew.
Aurora gestures to the wolf as she goes down. Go find something to eat. And she shoos him away.
The wolf immediately sniffs the air and begins following a absolutely delectable scent and just kind of starts moseying his way around and eventually behind the bar, and you see as the parlor door is kind of open and Matthew is very startled.
What is this? What is going on? No, Miss Aurora, good morning, but, if you could, keep your companion here out of my food stores. No, bad dog, wolf.
I have no control over him. He does whatever he wants. She lies very...
Bluff.
Obviously, I guess. Hold on, I'll roll for it.
10.
This is why I never like to allow wild beasts into my residence. If he keeps up this kind of behavior, Miss Aurora, I'm sorry, but he'll have to sleep outside.
And you see as he's trying to pull the wolf out from the back kitchen area, but the wolf is just outpowering this man and keeps proceeding in, and you hear laughter.
Aurora also starts to laugh a little bit. Oh, Matthew, you can just throw him a bone and he'll leave you alone.
All right, here, go on. You can have this whole ham leg for all I care.
And he just chucks it out the back door, and you hear as the wolf greedily gets up and chases after it, and you hear as he crashes into something in the back.
Aurora thinks to the wolf, I'm glad that you're having fun.
Oh, glad we could meet up with you this morning, Miss Aurora. I wasn't sure if you'd show.
Well, seeing as this is where I've been staying, I had nowhere else to go. I received your note, and she sort of waves the paper in the air. So you're going to be heading out? No direction?
Oh, quite the contrary. That is where we need you to decide a rather fervent disagreement. I am of the mindset that a lot has changed since Harrison has done his rounds. He said he has checked a number of establishments within the past few weeks, but I'm sure so much can change in that period of time. I wish to go around settlement to settlement, inquiring with all of the local villages to see if they have noted anything. And I was of the mind that I had already done this work. No offense, Sir Prescott. I know you're very concerned for your niece and you want to leave no stone unturned, but the work has already been done.
Harrison, where have you checked so far?
Most of the nearby farmsteads. There's really not that much around, unless you go further out to some of the further farming villages, but a lot of the residents around here are a tight-knit group and would notice anything and share with us.
And what direction have you mainly focused on? North, south, east, west?
I've made numerous laps all around the city. I haven't gone too far out, though. But as of when I last checked, I started in the north, headed to the east, went to the south, and then finished with the western farmsteads. But as of the past 2 weeks, nothing has turned up.
Well, seeing that I saw his niece very recently, it wouldn't be unreasonable to believe that she may be nearby.
This is precisely why I said we needed to start over from square one, making sure that we turn over every stone and reconvene with the same people we have already previously discussed with.
Did you ask them to keep an eye on her, or to send message if they ever found or saw her?
Of course. What due diligence would I have done if I had not?
Well, I guess I can give you some information since I've happened across a bit.
Oh, pray tell, what have you found?
I haven't found anything. However, a little rat has told me that the raiders may be to blame. In the southeast, we should probably check.
The southeast, there really isn't all that much there, except for a village about 8 miles out.
Then that is where you need to go.
Well, there you have it, Harrison. I knew she'd have a keen ear and be able to turn up something. Quite honestly, I thought it would be the wolf, but either way, I'm happy to have such good news.
Yes, well, not all of it is good. Apparently, that is where the raiders will be.
A perfect opportunity to confront them.
Yes, confront them. And potentially take care of the problem.
Indeed, if we could persuade them to stop pillaging our lands, the entire townsfolk would be greatly appreciative and much better off. I don't think that's exactly what she had in mind, Sir Prescott. Normally these are less than your courtly matters.
She flashes a smile at Harrison, somewhat creepy of a smile, as if pleased that he understands some of the implication of the conversation.
Harrison, while understanding the implied sentiment, kind of grimaces and seems to have distaste in his eyes for the concept for such matters. Well, if we are going to be headed there, it's going to be a little bit of a ride, I do say. We probably wouldn't get there until dusk, even if we started now.
Don't get your hopes up too much. Unfortunately, my informant is not necessarily someone that can be trusted. However, we may find that aiding this person in this matter may lead to the recovery of your niece. I'm still mildly concerned about the fact that we saw that wagon here. Very concerned. And she does get like this dark look on her face.
Well then, since we have our directive, I feel like we should make way, Miss Aurora.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to come with you. All right, then.
Now that you've given us direction to go in, honestly, if you feel uncomfortable doing such, you need not trouble yourself.
Aurora seems to ponder what he says for a moment, and then thinks back to what Draken had said and what mission he had essentially given her. It is also then that she realizes she has not eaten anything at all since some point yesterday. But she doesn't say anything and instead just nods her head and accepts the reality that she's in right now and says, "Very well, then I shall go with you."
Come right this way, Miss Aurora. We have everything set aside for you. We presumed that we may need to supply you with a steed.
I do not need a steed. I have the wolf.
Very well. Perhaps you would appreciate the barding that would come with it, though. A proper saddle.
Barding. I don't quite understand what that is.
Well, if we are going to be going after raiders, barding is generally the protective garments that a steed would wear.
And you had barding for the wolf?
Well, no, it's more so for a horse, but so they are surprisingly of similar size.
She looks doubtful about the barding potentially fitting the wolf who has been eating his fair share of Matthew's stores.
Come right this way, Miss Aurora. See what we have at the very least, and we will make do with what we can.
All right.
Harrison gestures as he opens the door to the Broken Wagon Inn.
She will follow after him.
You do notice as you exit that to the left by a post, there does seem to be hitched 3 horses. However, it would appear as if Harrison is unsaddling the one furthest from the door and does appear to be bringing over a number of things, including saddlebags, and what you can see to be chain barding. Harrison is able to slip over the loose-fitted chain barding right over top of your wolf. And following such, he equips your companion with a saddle and saddlebags, which seem to have some supplies in it.
Aurora crosses her arms and kind of smirks at the wolf. How do you feel about this, wolf? You look like a regular steed now.
The wolf scoffs at your snide comment. Invincible. And he kind of shakes wildly as the chain kind of fits around his musculature better and the saddle settles in more so.
Well, I haven't had to ride with the saddle before. This should be interesting, to say the least. Are you gentlemen ready to go?
At your earliest convenience, Mr. Aurora, I would love to make haste. We have little time to dally. If we hope to arrive there before dusk, which would be preferable, that way we don't have to be traveling at night.
Then lead the way.
You mount up on your wolf companion, finding the saddle to be quite comfortable and making it actually significantly easier to ride. Following Harrison's lead, you find yourself to be directly to the left of Harrison and Sir Travis Prescott Williams to be almost adjacent to you to Harrison's right. As he's leading, you find yourselves traveling outside of the city into the open rolling fields, not necessarily on any individual path, but more so just in a cardinal direction as you find yourself going southeast for quite some time. You take short breaks here and there, and at one point Harrison even slows down and unclasps one of your saddlebags, reaching in and gesturing towards some provisions he had set aside, including a water canteen and some preserved jerky. I made note that you may not have actually been able to have a proper breakfast this morning, so I made sure to provide you with some of the necessary provisions.
I'll be all right. I'll get it when I need it. And she simply just closes the bag.
Well, at the very least, you now know where it is. And so the journey continues to carry on. As you make your mounted approach coming from the countryside, you can see just off in the distance on the horizon, cresting the hill as there is a tree line and the sun does appear to be setting. But the radiant sunset seems to be disturbed by a foggy haze until you realize it is actually massive pillars of smoke. It isn't even sunset yet, but the horizon is still stained red nonetheless, and you can tell that off in the distance there does seem to be some sort of fire.
Well, it seems that he was correct in his information.
It appears as if we would be too late then, or rather right on time to meet our... Yes, in time to meet our quarry. As you round the bend, you see that you are greeted by blazing fields of grain, which is at least one source of the massive walls of smoke. The further ahead you notice as the blaze has spread even further beyond the thatched roofs of the village itself. You push forward past the scorching heat and eventually cautiously begin making your way into the town. You can clearly hear juxtaposed the sounds of screams and laughter. Many houses have been razed to the ground as you see it is even laden with recently slain victims of some of the farm's people. Off in the distance, though not identical, you do see an alarmingly similar hooded wagon, the one you saw prior, and by it is a group of gruff-looking brigands, escorting scantily covered individuals bound by chains.
Well, if anything, I would say that this has been the problem plaguing your city. There you are, Prescott. Would you like to speak with them?
I was hoping to be able to reach them before we had to be faced with such a gruesome sight. Alas, I do suppose now would be my time.
Prescott begins to sheepishly spur his horse forward, though he seems to have lost a large majority of his composure that you have seen him have previously in the courts. Perhaps he is mildly out of his element.
Aurora will stay back a little bit, riding kind of closer to Harrison. Do you think we should back him up or let this play out?
I don't trust these savages one bit. I believe I need to be close enough by his side to push him out of the way before he says something stupid.
You have no trust in him.
Au contraire, I have the utmost faith of his ability to hold himself in courtly matters. However,
These are not courtly matters.
he lacks field experience.
And Harrison spurs his horse forward in an attempt to catch up with Sir Prescott.
Aurora will lag behind a little bit, not too far, but just enough distance to sort of watch the game begin.
Doing so, you get a wonderful view as Prescott begins to approach. A number of the raiders turn and draw their weapons, some of them pointing bows, most of them holding swords and shields, all taking a very defensive stance, and you see as there appears to be a line of individuals being escorted into this back of this wagon, and two people standing on either side of the opening seem to be shoving them in quite hurriedly now.
Pardon me, gentlemen. I don't mean to intrude. However, there is an individual I am looking for.
Oh, this should be good, she says under her breath and pats the wolf on his shoulder.
One of the raiders steps forward. He seems to have a scraggly, unkempt beard and likewise greasy, matted hair. He points a dagger towards Prescott.
I don't think you know exactly who you're dealing with. If anything, you should be walking the other direction, for the only thing you'll find here is trouble.
I look for no trouble here. However, I do believe that your individuals may have come across my niece, someone I am looking for.
They all exchange glances for a moment, and then laugh heartily.
Oh, sir, are you meaning one of the persons on our wagon? Normally we have to go quite a ways to get their ransom, but if the coin is right, you can take a look around.
She has been missing for quite some time, and I don't believe she was here in this village. May I show you an image of her? Perhaps you'll recognize it.
By all means, step forward.
Roll a perception check.
Sure. Aurora leans in a little bit on the wolf and sort of urges him to go forward a little bit closer so that she's within about 30 feet. 24.
As Prescott moves forward, you can see this unkempt raider gesture a hand forward and seem to sheath the dagger he had in that hand for a moment. But you can't see his other hand, and you could have sworn when he approached you saw two daggers.
As Aurora is approaching, noticing this, she casts the Hex Evil Eye on him and glares. So he'll get a will save against it.
What's the save, DC?
20.
All right, he does fail his saving throw. You choose one of the following stats for him to take a -2 penalty to. What is your choice?
Saving throws. She'll approach a little bit closer as well, and as she does, she reaches into her bag and pulls out the vial that she had breathed a breath of air into, and she uncorks it and casts Suffocate on the man.
Uncorking the vial, you can visibly see the oxygen you once breathed into it escape, as it almost has a green-hued outline surrounding it, and it seems to almost waft and travel towards this individual.
He does get to make a fortitude save. He's at a -2 penalty. The spell save DC is 19. If he fails the spell saving throw, he begins to suffocate. Takes 3 rounds for him to suffocate and die. If he succeeds, it's basically he is staggered for 1 round.
You see as this green-hued outline of your breath makes its way over to him, and it seems to almost track its way into his air path. You can see it enter his nostrils and his mouth and eventually fill his lungs, at which point he stops breathing normally and instead is grasping at his throat, scratching at his chest, gasping for air but unable to get any, unsure why, but in but a mere number of seconds, he collapses to the ground.
Oh dear.
All of the men around you take a very defensive stance, and one of them runs up to him, drags him back.
What is your business here?
Our business? She'll ride up and sort of sit next to Prescott at this point. Our business is to speak with your leader. Bring him here.
Roll a perception check.
It is a 17.
You hear the deep, low-toned whispers and murmurs of the men, some of them seemingly accusing or questioning you. After making known your request, you do actually hear a very loud thud come from the front of the wagon.
Well, you have asked for the leader of this group, so you shall have it.
And the very large, burly man, donned in very heavy-plated armor, steps forward. He wields 2 axes in either hand, and he seems to throw one into the ground as it impales itself into the earth.
Your tactics are amusing, at best.
What is it that you wish for?
Oh, you wish to know what I want?
Clearly you are here for a reason. It should be obvious what we are here for, and we wish to make our leave.
Yes, we are here for a simple purpose. We are looking for this man's niece. Care to explain where she might be? After all, I saw her in one of your wagons not that long ago.
One of my wagons? They come, they go. We travel many places. I don't remember the face of every victim I slaughter.
Perhaps you may remember this one. She is an exquisite beauty. Very striking. Bears no resemblance to me, I will admit, but definitely memorable.
And Sir Prescott cautiously walks forward, and due to his demeanor, you can't tell whether he is more nervous by the brigands which surround him or you, as he kind of dances around the both of you in an attempt to walk towards the man. He walks forward closer and grasps at something around his neck, only to reveal and show to the very large man a locket, which has an image of Claire.
Ah, yes, I do remember this one. Making her way through the forest but a few days ago.
And tell us, where is she now?
The gods only know. She has made her ways inside the walls and to the trading block. She could be anywhere by now.
Inside the walls of where?
The city.
Aurora glances towards Prescott again. This time, she smiles and just mutters under her breath, I knew it.
Now, if you would not mind, me and my men have work to get back to. If you would like, you can come and see what wares we have at the trading block.
Aurora does not do anything momentarily. She seems to be thinking until she speaks up. I have a question for you. What is your relationship with a man called Draken?
Draken. The name does not sound familiar. The only one I turn to is the White Wolf of the South, Piran.
I see. Very interesting. There are some mysteries afoot here. However, what is your name?
Me, I go by many names. I have many titles. Allbreaker, Homewrecker, Savage, Barbarian to my foes.
But tell me who you say you are.
Those under my command would refer to me as Hjold Steelside Bjornsson.
I must parley with you a bit further. You see, I have been requested to, how should we put this, take care of you. Take that as you will. However, I will say this Draken does not seem to be fond of your pillaging of these villages. Perhaps we can come to an accord.
Well, generally, I am not much for politics. But seeing as you have incapacitated the man who normally takes care of these matters for me.
And he gestures to the man lying in the dirt, who someone is currently dragging towards the wagon.
Oh, is he still alive? I'm surprised.
I may not be too much of a fan of that snake. However, he is very useful, and it would be a shame if he were to leave my service. You are lucky he is still alive.
It just seems that a breeze caught him off guard. After all, the air is filled with smoke here. He should be fine momentarily.
So you should hope. Or else I may have to take the lot of you in order to pay for his head.
If you should think you could. Perhaps. But as I said, what can we offer to you to get you to leave? Plunder elsewhere, nowhere near this city.
Quite simple. Generally, I would say coin. But right now, rations are more necessary. That is the reason for raiding these farming villages, of course. Though their stockholds were less than desirable.
Yes, you can blame the Baron for that, apparently. Not very well run. Aurora will again look at Prescott. And what say you, Prescott?
I don't generally like harboring wanted criminals, especially enemies of the state. I don't know how you suppose we supply them with anything either, Miss Aurora. Not to mention they really haven't given us any information as to where Claire is other than supposedly within the city walls.
They're not going to know where she is if they've already taken her there. Unless... She looks back over at Hjold. Unless you have someone that goes into the city and does trading on the underside.
All we do is drop off the cargo. Once the wagon hits the walls, it is out of our hands. I come and collect my payment when I drop off the next shipment.
Who is paying you?
All money only exchanges hands through those who watch the gates. This is all I know. Of course, Furin more than likely has men keeping tally of the numbers inside.
He's kind of like waving on the rest of his crew to finish the job that they were set for here, and they continue to loot the village.
Aurora looks over at Harrison. Did you happen to bring any wine?
I can't say that I did. I didn't know we would need such a thing.
Let's say this. Let us say that this Draken fellow has powerful allies, and that his attempts are mostly to get you to leave. The finances aren't exactly the problem, it is the rations all around, apparently. The city is struggling, and he wants you to leave.
We're all struggling. That is why we came here. It was not on the scheduled route. In fact, we were not supposed to come. But my men are starving, and I will not have my crew go unfed.
Where were you going that you didn't have the food?
All of our rations are supplied for when we reach the city walls. But as of late, supply has been running low. We are normally given positions to raid and to avoid. This was one such avoidance, but it seems so ample in grain we could not help ourselves.
But you just said that there wasn't enough to go around. It's meager. I see.
What we take here shall last my crew for weeks. However, in order to weather a long winter, we shall need much more. Game is sparse in these fields, and we cannot afford to tarry too long in the woods.
I see. Prescott,
Yes, Miss Aurora.
get back on your horse.
All right, is it so we can make a very hasty getaway?
She just smiles.
If I may, an alternate solution would be to allow them to take us, make our ways through the inside, and see if we could find her once we are there. Only disclosing my true nature once we're inside, and I'll use my sway and leverage to get us out.
You want them? Aurora just gestures for a huddle. Pardon us for one moment.
Hyold seems perplexed by this and eyes on towards you as you huddle with your compatriots, but then, after hearing the tone of your voices, kind of chuckles to himself, and his demeanor relaxes slightly.
What the absolute hell are you thinking?
Well, we know she was already inside the city walls, but we just don't know as to where. If they took us on the exact same route she was, then perhaps we could just trace her steps.
Oh my god, Prescott, that's...
Once I'm inside the city walls, I have numerous contacts. I would be able to pull some strings, as once I found out where everything was.
So you want us to be captured?
I could display the corruption from inside. No one would be able to refute my claims if I experienced it.
Prescott, it's only if you don't die in the process.
I wouldn't ask a lady such as yourself, but with Harrison by my side, I'm sure we would make it out perfectly fine. And what is this ultimate objective that you have in order to rid the barbarians from this place?
Well, I was going to kill them, but if you really...
Aurora, ladylike. Quite unsavory matters indeed. Perhaps I should make my leave on my steed and allow you to do your ways. I only pray that your soul be saved, and this is not how you came upon the information of where my niece may be.
What? Of course not. It was given to me freely. Ish. What is ish? She seems very confused by this usage of language. Interesting.
Miss Aurora, I can't say that I condone an outright attack or assault from these individuals. They outnumber us, and few of us are experienced. I will do my best to defend you, but I can't say that I would enjoy being part of any unnecessary slaughters.
Harrison, have you looked around your villages here? Do you see the buildings burning, the people screaming, the children in chains?
I'm just saying, Miss Aurora, it may be an unnecessary risk. Prescott here can barely handle a blade. And I mean no insult to yourself, but my concern for your well-being may be ill-founded, but I don't foresee us being able to handle such odds.
As Harrison kind of glances off in the direction of what appear to be a dozen brigands.
Aurora will turn the wolf back towards Hyold, and she'll ride up to him. I like you. You seem like a lot of fun.
I could say the same for you. It certainly has made this day more interesting.
So, I would like to strike a bargain.
With what chips can you offer?
You see, there are some matters at hand that need to be taken care of in the city. My compatriots would like you to take them and sell them to the city so that we can take down this problematic situation from the inside, thereby releasing what appears to be the funds and the food that seems to be so limited in the area.
I do think you misunderstand what we are doing here. The operation which you are espousing to destroy is the exact one which makes us coin.
Yes, well,
It would be self-defeating. Though a very amusing proposition, I am not one to turn on Viren, for I know what lies beyond those who do.
are you saying you're not interested to see what would happen?
I wish not to test the loyalty of my crew and my very blood, as Unhildr works with Viren, and I wish not to have a feud.
He doesn't want you. She gestures back to them.
I didn't say that. I will gladly ransom your friends if that is what you wish. I just am cautious of your intentions to disrupt my trade. You make no mention of who sold you there. And furthermore, please, do not disrupt anything. Look for his niece if you must. But stop there. We have plenty of contacts inside the walls, and we will make sure to inform them.
Do we have a deal then?
Fine. We shall take you. All the more gold for us. A rich man and what appears to be a proper knight. I'm sure them and their equipment will fetch a pretty penny.
Oh, I didn't anticipate them taking our stuff. And Prescott kind of looks down and grasps at his belongings and clothes.
Very well. However, I shall not be going with them. I have to deal with these other matters at this hand.
A pity. I was looking forward to you at least warming the seat next to me for the journey.
Oh, would you like me to sit with you?
I find you very amusing compared to all the other mundane women who roam these parts.
Very well, then I will travel with you.
And your pet to be iconic.
Yes. The wolf is quite a handful, I will say. Let us begin this adventure.
So, your other traveling companions exchange glances, momentarily realizing that technically this is what they asked for, but they are caught off guard as they are stripped of most all of their worldly possessions. You see Harrison lacking his iconic plate armor, and Sir Prescott no longer dressed in the fine wares of a charlatan. They are instead given mundane tan clothes, presumably that left over from the village's stores, and they are likewise chained and thrown in the back.
This is a sight I never thought I would see. How much fun.
With that, Hjold gestures and pats the seat beside him as he takes the front of the wagon.
She will climb up onto the seat.
He offers you his hand.
She'll take it, and also grab a piece of jerky from her bag and hand it to him, as well as one for herself.
Ah, a woman of taste.
Well, that's about all I have, but yes, carry on.
And with that, you make way in tow with the entire barbarian caravan, making your way back to the city.
Thank you, Foundlings, for listening to another episode of A Tale of Remembrance. We're so glad you joined us, and we hope you'll stick around till the end of this short series. Please leave a rating and a review in whatever podcast listening app that you're on so that other listeners can discover us and, well, the algorithm picks us up. That'd be very nice. We do want to give a big thank you and shout out to Michael Gelfi, Will Savino with Music D20, and Yvonne Dutch for allowing us to use their music and ambiance in today's episode. And if you want to know how I put together all of our ambiances, especially during our recording process, it is through Sirenscape, where they have some amazing soundscapes. You don't have to make all of them yourself like I do, but you can use their preset stuff for things that already exist. Pathfinder has a lot of ambiances on there already, so go ahead and check them out. Use our link in the description below. It doesn't really do anything for us. It just lets them know, like, hey, people listen to your podcast and kind of want to use our product. Okay, well, anyway, there's no benefit for us for that, but yeah. And as always, Foundlings, if you want to support the podcast in other ways, consider going to our Patreon. That is the best way to support us, really. Financially speaking, it does help with the production of things, such as paying for the website and other ambiances and music. Thank you, Foundlings, and we will see you in another episode of A Tale of Remembrance.